Hi, this is Rylan Searley, and this is my Week 14 multimedia assignment. During the lecture this week, we began to move away from the focus on sports and started to talk about genetics. We learned that the more similar your genetics are to a sibling or a person that you live with, the more likely you are to have some big factors already decided. The interesting fact is that once you move down to people who are not related yet live in the same home, most things no longer have a significant correlation. This study is a picture of the nature versus nurture idea. It suggests that nurture does not play as much of a significant role in various life outcomes as genetics, where genetics does, especially when you are considering factors such as height, which have almost a factor of 1. Rizzo argued that some things such as mental toughness cannot be trained. I disagree with this. Although you may be born with some level of mental strength, I believe that it can be improved. I wanted to share a famous example, and I'm starting with part B here. I wanted to share a famous example of this with the class. Tiger Woods' father trained Tiger to be a master at managing his mental and emotional state. This is a very crucial aspect of the game of golf. His father, before various tee shots, would spill his golf bag, yell, and ask questions right before Tiger would make contact with the ball. This caused Tiger to do two things. One, get very good at stopping before a swing that doesn't feel right, but it also allowed him to get agitated, and he would be pushed right before a breaking point. But his dad would stop right before he did so. This caused Tiger to get pushed further and further each time, and eventually he became numb to the tricks and distractions. This fortified Tiger in a way that would allow him to never get mentally challenged by another player, spectator, and most importantly himself. I share this because I have witnessed and heard many examples of people improving their mental and emotional fortitude over time, in hockey and other aspects of my life. But maybe a new experiment should be run to verify the quote Tiger test. In part A for this week, I am using the article Measuring Mental Toughness in Sport, a psychometric examination of the Psychological Performance Inventory A and its predecessor. And this is by Daniel Gucciardi. In the article, Gucciardi tests 333 Australian footballers to examine the PPI, which is the Psychological Performance Inventory A, if it is an accurate way to measure mental toughness in an athlete. The paper finds that it is not consistent enough to deem that PPI is a good way to gauge the mental toughness of an athlete. And yet they also run a test to verify this finding and come to the same conclusion. As we think about what we discussed in class, people seem to have different levels of mental toughness, and Rizzo suggests that it is more nature and less nurture. But the issue is not something that is the issue with this is that it's not something that is easy to measure, and if you cannot necessarily measure it, then how can you show clear signs of improvement other than opinions collected from varying performances that may be attributed to a high causal density of possible factors? I think when comparing it to the discussion, we need to keep in mind that the study was performed in 2010, and perhaps there is a way to test that has been researched since then. Maybe I do not like the idea that people cannot improve their mental strength, but I feel like in my life, I myself and people around me have shown signs of them doing so, and that's whether it is indirectly or not. That's everything I had for this week, so happy grading.